Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Hope you're having a good Tuesday night. And here we go with one of these. You may remember that I used to paint on stream. I know it's been a little while since I've done this. For those of you who watch me on Twitch, you know the reason why. Been playing too much Persona 4 Golden. But tonight we're going to paint some Godtear. And the cool thing about tonight is we are going to try out the speed paints from Army Painter. Alright? So I'm really excited to try this. We'll see how they work. This is probably the biggest test right here. Crusader Skin. We're going to see how Crusader Skin works. And you can see I've done a kind of a zenithal prime here. Ooh, it's really bright. It's not coming in that great because, yeah, it's black. It's basically Stynylrez Res black with white ink applied over that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. And I'm gonna start. We're gonna start to paint with this. So you can hear there's a mixing ball in this Crusader Skin, and it comes in a dropper. So those are already two things that look pretty promising compared to contrast paints. I'm gonna put on my wet palette here. Okay, it looks kind of dark. Thinner, definitely thinner than contrast paints. I'm just gonna use this brush. This is not the best brush I have, but that's the point of speed paints, right? So I'm just gonna give ourselves a healthy dose of this stuff and see how we go. All right, so, I'm just applying this kind of, so I didn't thin it at all, just straight in. And kind of work in these areas here. You can tell it's definitely lighter than contrast paint. Than, like Gilliman Flesh, I guess is what you might compare that to. Godtear. Right? So it's lighter than Gilliman Flesh. Why is that not? Let's see if I can get it to focus. Hold on. Alright. Let's see if I can get this. That's about as good as we get, isn't it? It's just so bright. Yeah. Anyways, this will be a nice little test, though. Maybe it'll come into focus as the painting continues. But yeah, so you can see that's an area there where it's more black primer than the white ink. You can see it's kind of leaving a darker color there, which is not the end of the world, but and you should expect that with these like basically hyped up glazes. Okay. But that's actually a pretty nice tone. And the nice part is, too, it's not like contrast paint where it's not, like I can go in, if that's too dark, I can go in and pull some of that off with the damp brush. So it's definitely more workable than contrast paint. Anyways, so I'm going to do what I normally do with contrast paint with these, which is I'm going to block off the major colors, and then we'll see how we like it, right? That's typically what I use contrast paints for these days anyways, is I'll do color blocking on the whole thing, and then you just sort of judge, what you need to do to complete the model. Sometimes you go in with like like a full other base coat highlight to get the detail that you want. And sometimes you're just good with wherever you happen to be. That skin tone already, in my opinion, much better than Gilliman Flesh. Much better. Right? Already a better experience. The paint itself is more workable. It's not like sticky or tacky. Like contrast paint can get sticky or tacky after a while. Or sometimes like right out of the gate. Like if you happen to pull an old bottle from the shelf, it could be sticky or tacky. But look at that. Like I'm kind of digging that. Right. I'll show you something in a minute here, Chris, that I think is dope. Hint, it's not Godtear. Also, if you're going to be around Sunday, my buddy Jake and maybe one or two of his friends are coming down to the shop, and they're going to want to play some BMG. And one of the guys backed Relic Knights with me, so I'm going to give him some of the minis that he added onto my pledge. So we'll get a little bit of both, probably. Okay. Kind of spilled a little bit of flesh right here, and then you just pick it up with a damp brush. It's so cool. Look at that. Automatically better. Automatically better than Gilliman Flesh. Who would have thought? And the funny thing is, I'll tell you straight up, I'm not a huge fan of Army Painter stuff. I don't think I think their brushes are overrated, and their paints are also overrated. Like their regular paints, they're kind of clunky in terms of like thinning them, getting the right tone. They don't have any of their stuff these days. I had some of their washes and maybe a couple of paints, but I quickly replaced them with with these days it's going to be AK Gen 3. Look at that skin tone. That's pretty fire, man. Like that's pretty good. Not gonna lie. Pretty good. Okay. Now I want to do kind of some gold. Hold on one sec. Got an escapee. How'd you get out? All right, so I had a cricket escape. Yeah, let me see if I can. There, that might help a little bit. Had a cricket escape from one of my kids' lizard tanks. Let's see if the skin tone. It's still bright, isn't it? Let's try some mood lighting. How about that? a little bit better. There we go. But you can see the skin tone there, right? Like I'm thinking that's pretty good. That's a pretty good tone. Let's do some um, let's do some like some brown leather undertones, and then the top layers will be green. I'm sorry, not green. It'll be this Gravelord gray and zealot yellow. So we're gonna go hardened leather on some of these other. Still looks to be glared. Yeah, maybe I mean, I am flooding this area with light, but I don't think I can change that, unfortunately. That's just kind of what we got, dude. Anyways, I will tell you this, though, just my own personal opinion on this is the skin tone actually looks quite good. It looks quite good. You can, like, I can mess with that a little bit to make it great, but it's already, I think for a lot of people, like, that's already pretty good tabletop standard. All right, so we're going to try this hardened leather. Oh, you know what? Oops, sorry. What I should do before I move on is actually I'm going to use a little bit of this, and I'm going to mix it with a little water. I'm going to use it here on the bear snout. Right? Just make that a little bit lighter. There we go. So with the water, it's not... The water didn't really thin it the right way. It just kind of made it turpid, but it didn't really thin the color too much. It's not the end of the world. But you could actually kind of see just the action of me painting it, that that this is definitely a lot thinner than contrast paint. It's thin, like maybe wash thin, not quite ink thin, but wash thin. All right, let's go with the hardened leather. And I'm just gonna blend some of these areas in here for the bear, right? But you have a little control over intensity. Right? I feel like I can control to some degree how intense that brown is gonna be. It looks kind of yellow there on camera. These two colors on my palette, they look like soy sauce. That's my Asian. Look like soy sauce. That's like my Asian coming through there. All right. Cool. All right, so back in here. So we're gonna kind of paint there. Right. He's gonna have like, basically he's got leather underneath here. Leather barding and whatnot. See that little gnat? Little gnat jumped in the screen there. I'm gonna kill it when I see it. Death to gnats. All right. And then I'm just gonna follow through on that brown. This brown is Definitely lighter than I thought it was going to be. This is almost a, a match for snakebite leather. And I'm sure you can kind of use these as tints, to filter to the color you want. I don't want to go too overboard with this brown. There we go. Also, I'll point out um, as these speed paints are drying, they're noticeably flatter than contrast paints. Contrast paints can often leave like a higher sheen, right? They look a little glossy. This is drying down pretty flat. Even the skin is drying down pretty flat. And then I've got wood back there behind the shield. So let's use a different color for that. Let's see, what do we got? Let's try this pallid bone. Got a little clog. Got a little clog on the. So that's the trade-off for the dropper bottles, right? Clogs. If you already use dropper bottles, you're pretty aware and assumingly okay with that trade-off, right? You get a dropper bottle, cool, but you gotta deal with clogs. Third color to go on my color palette and look like soy sauce. Okay. Let's go ahead and start moving over to the other models with these other colors. All right. So we're using our hearty soy sauce for the leather, and then we're going to use our low sodium soy sauce for the wood. Well, homeboy should have a little bit more skin back here. There we go. Yeah, it still looks fantastic. Make with the soy sauce, buddy. There we go. Okay. But yeah, so far, pretty impressed. I'm going to see what happens when you paint one section into another section. And then we'll see how these take highlights and that sort of thing. Okay. And again, low sodium soy sauce for the wood. It does all look like soy sauce to me. Okay. Hey, what's up, Jason? All right. Next one. Look at this guy. I'll stay on the low sodium kick. Important to have low sodium soy sauce because it doesn't taste any different to me anyway. So I tend to use low sodium soy sauce in my cooking. I just saw, I went to CQ today and they had a bunch more of these starter sets in for the speed paint. So if you like how it's working here, go down and grab yourself one, because why not? Yeah. And like I was telling Chris, this Sunday, Jason, sounds like a couple of my friends are coming down to play some BMG, and maybe I don't think Jake will play Relic Knights. Jake hates that stuff, but Kevin might see it. Is this the other comp? Yes, this is the Army Painter speed paint. Is there any wood on this thing? Not really. Okay. So, got to go back to standard hearty soy sauce for the boots here. I think it's just easier to kind of default all the undergarment to that color, right? These little Godtear models have a surprisingly high amount of detail to them, which makes them actually really good, like, models for the value. That guy's cool looking. Is it a white base or a Xeno? Oh, it's kind of a faker Xeno. It's black primer with white ink. Okay. Look at these guys go. This guy here is pretty damn. He's like, this guy here may be the coolest looking one. The Godtear stuff reminds me of like World of Warcraft. It's the World of Warcraft dwarfs. Especially this guy. This guy here looks very much like a World of Warcraft dwarf. Alright. And I wasn't all that, hey, what's up, Atomico? Sodium good for the blood. Alright. Long time no see, man. Alright, let's try out their yellow. So far, the Army Painter stuff is already much better, in my opinion, than Citadel contrast paint. Like, it's easier to use. It dries. It doesn't dry so quite as fast. It doesn't gum up or stick up. It doesn't dry to like a high sheen, right? Comes in a dropper bottle with a shaker bead. So all pretty much stuff that we all like so far. Like, it actually seems like it's making good on the promises that Citadel contrast paints made. Oh man, I forgot. We gotta do light soy sauce for these little Do light soy sauce for these little, I forget what these are called, these little talents right here. There we go. Look at that. A little light soy sauce there. All right. Let's go with some yellow soy sauce. If you want to know why I keep calling it soy sauce, here, let me show you. Right, so, right, this looks like, there you go. It even looks like the consistency of soy sauce. But like, this is good painting soy sauce. Oh, that doesn't look like soy sauce. It does look like that chili oil. Everything is, we're going to describe everything in terms of Asian condiments, okay? We're calling all of this Asian condiments. All right, let's see. This yellow, often a nice little proxy for non-metallic gold, and look at that. Dude. Yeah. Say no more. That is a great proxy in there, or a great base for non-metallic gold. Gets you right there, right where you need to be. Okay? That's pretty dope. So it's MSG. I don't know. Do I want to do this? I may have done this backwards. I may have screwed that up. It's okay. We'll just use, he'll just have fancy bordering right there. All right. MSG is going to be the snow medium that I use, because Nelson wanted these to be snow themed. That's pretty dwarven though so far. It looks pretty dwarven. Dwarven. And then we're gonna do a little detail here. Right? That's it. Just a little bit of gold detail on that dude. But yeah, Godtear sculpts are a good candidate for this kind of thing because the detail is good, like it's really pronounced, and that's what you want with these speed paints. All kind of rely on you know, being able to capitalize on a stronger sculpt. Right? Let's do that. These right now at CQ, they only have the starter set, so it's just the eight paints in the starter, and that's what we're playing with tonight. Here, I'm gonna make his little saw blade shield design look quite fancy. I didn't do the best job there, keeping that all together, but we alright. Okay. But yeah, they're not bad. I mean, am I gonna be using these for like my painting? Probably not. But there, you can see I'm doing they do an excellent job of just, giving me that nice color blocking that I want. All right, keep it moving with the yellow soy sauce. So yeah, this weekend should be pretty good. My buddy Jake is coming down. He wants to learn freeze. So Chris, you'll be particularly helpful to him. And then, so yeah, we could play some BMG and maybe if I have time, we can do some more Relic Nights. I am hoping to play some more Relic Nights. Because why not? Because we cracked that seal again. Still playing that game. I know, not particularly proud of it, but it is what it is. It is. Right? What else do you need? There, you are really fancy, Mr. World of Warcraft dwarf. He is quite fancy. I guess if we're gonna make them, if we're really gonna make them World of Warcraft dwarfs, we gotta go whole hog on these. All right? Yeah, Sunday. Because Saturday, 40K, the CQ has 40K. So we're gonna shoot for Sunday. Okay. Saturday, I may be free late afternoon. Do you want to try to do something then? That's always a gamble, though, as you know. Okay. Get wait another 5 months for it. All right. So, and you notice I'm not really giving these too much time to dry. I'm just kind of going from one to another one. Let's go. So we're going to go with Gravelord Gray. Can't wait to see what this looks like on the wet palette. What sort of soy sauce does this look like? I don't think it looks like soy. I don't think this stuff's going to look like soy sauce. But you can see there's our palette of soy sauce. Give this a good shake. It's just black soy sauce. Oh man, that yellow soy sauce ran all the way across. I hate it when it does that. Because it's not on a flat surface. So it was just eaten up. Just rolling down with the gravity there. Alright, so we got black soy sauce now. Let's see. Let's see how this sucker takes. So we're going to use this for the bulk of the, we'll call it steel. Pretty nice. You know, so this would be comparing to Basilicanum Gray, right? And looks okay. Looks pretty good, right? I can work with this. This color feels just ever so slightly thicker than the other colors, but it seems to be blocking out just fine. I'm gonna put hearty soy sauce back here. There we go. This stuff is actually quite nice. I'm willing to bet there is a good way to turn this into a quality liner for you if you were so inclined. If you were so inclined to use it that way, there's probably a good way to do it. Yeah, speed paints do a decent enough job, in my opinion. Right? For a lot of people that are just trying to get their Godtear done, this is going to be pretty satisfactory to them. Right? Okay. So some of that yellow was not dry. It does blend a little bit, so you still have to be careful like you would with contrast paints, not to let stuff bleed into the next area. But man, like that is not bad. That is not bad at all for your, right? A lot of people could just do this paint job and be like, okay, I think I did a pretty good job on this this model. Okay, I'm gonna try. Yeah, so the gray just kind of acts as a tone there. If you don't, right? If you had another color underneath. Okay, that's. I mean, looks pretty good. I think that looks pretty good. We're gonna let them dry too, so you can see. At least just from a use standpoint, like if you're looking for something that's more comfortable to use than contrast paints, this is easily a step up in terms of, um, we'll call it ease of use. Definitely a step up, right? All this, all this steel needs is like um, it just needs a very simple line highlight, and you're good to go, right? I don't know why, but this guy reminds me of Ghosts and Goblins for some reason. Like he's gonna throw these swords like the dude throws lances, Ooh, that was weird. That was weird. Why did it do that? That it just started to pool funny right there. I'm not sure how or why. All right. I'm just gonna go whole hog. Whole hog. Like we typically do. Yeah, like that looks pretty damn. Would you agree? That looks pretty damn good for just a base coat. Right, and there's a number of ways to highlight this. But yeah, that's looking pretty sharp. All right. Oh, this, she should have, we need fancier design here on here. So let's go yellow soy sauce right there. And let's go, we're gonna do a little brown. Do a little hearty brown soy sauce. Right there. Kind of bordering it, right? I know I hit the studs there, that's not great. Right? You can always paint those studs in how you want though later. Let's do another patch of hearty brown soy sauce right there. There you go. Representing for soy sauce. All right. I definitely like this gravestone gray better than basilicanum gray. And that's saying a lot because I use basilicanum gray a lot when I'm blocking color. Basilicanum gray is a very versatile contrast paint. In my opinion, it is the best contrast paint. Well, yes and no. I mean, I found there's some great uses for specific contrast paints. Ethermatic blue, for example, Archelian green. There's cool stuff you could do with. Plague Bearer Flesh is an excellent contrast paint color. There's a lot of cool stuff you could do with that. And Skeleton Horde, right? So they're very good contrast paints. Basilicanum Gray is one of the ones that I really favor though because it is extremely versatile. But this, I will say, and I'm not sponsored or anything. I'm not getting any. Like I mentioned at one point, I'm not even really a fan of Army Painter for the most part. I don't even like their paints or their brushes. If you want my honest opinion, I think they're kind of overrated as far as like standard paints. But this looks to be pretty damn good. So I ain't gonna hate on this. This looks like this stuff works pretty well, right? We're just rolling along. We don't need with all this stuff color blocked. That just gets you super far ahead into the process, right? Right, like we know that's all gonna be steel. So we from here, with all of that done, we can now kind of predict how the rest of the paint's being used and what's going to come next. All right, so right, it's just a matter of like getting to that point. Far too long. Hey, what's up, Nelson? Okay. Whoa, made a boo-boo. See right there? Look how easy that is. I could have never fixed that with contrast paint. That would have just been game over right there. It would have just been paint it, gray sear again, and go back and do your thing again. But yeah, this does look legitimately pretty damn cool. Okay. I need more yellow soy sauce right here. Yellow soy sauce. Okay. And then we're going to do all this like tabarding in the brown soy sauce. Right? There you go. There you go. It's looking beautiful. You love hate contrast paints. Yeah, these are the army painter ones that, as far as I can see right now, are doing a much better job than Citadel contrast paints. Much better job. Oh, I forgot. See? Gotta do soy sauce here. Can't forget the soy sauce, boys. Look at that. Power soy sauce. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is from at least the starter set of the Army Painter stuff. I am going to go ahead, based on what I'm seeing here, I am going to go ahead and recommend buying, because these are working really well. Right? Even the skin looks good. This guy does look like World of Warcraft Dwarf Boy. Dwarf Boy. And then before we jump into too much of this, I want to take a quick break here. Show you guys something. About the flesh tone, do you like it over Gilliman? Yes. Resounding yes. The tone is good, and it's much easier to use. So yes. I would say just because I like to have different flesh tones all the time, it's still worth having both. But in terms of fulfilling the requirements of speed paint, the Army Painter stuff just does way better. Right? It it does do what the whole promise of speed paint was. Right? Like we're looking pretty good there. A little more soy sauce on this boy. Hey man, put the soy sauce on. Here we go. Right? It just does the job. I guess pretty good. Okay, we're gonna let those dry for a minute. And I'm gonna show you guys what else I have on the painting table. I do have another Godtear crew, but that's not what I want to show. I want to show you some of the RK, the Relic Knights starter sculpts. So here's the little cipher. Don't ask me for the names, but this is the Void cipher, like a little fat Robo Cupid. These are the Dark Pinions. So squad of these. And these are cool looking, right? They have those like bladed guns, right? They're like if O12 was cool. Gotta get my O12 jabs in. This kind of pissed me off a little bit here. Looks like he's tripping on a rock. I'll get you. Then you get a Void solo. The Void stuff with the angel theme, it's like S&M angels, is pretty dope. This model here is incredible, not gonna lie. The part that sucks is they want you to kind of suspend him on a flying base. And I was like, F that noise. That's dumb. They don't supply you with a flying base, so you don't get to do that anyway. Um, but so I just pinned him there. I know it might look a little silly, but he's still dope looking. Like that is a really cool looking model. And then you got the questing knight. What's her name? I forget. Yeah. Um, the detail's very good. The detail's very good. Still have the cleanup. You know, it's resin, and it's that more brittle resin like the BMG Season 2 resin. So you still have a cleanup and that kind of stuff, but I mean, that's a huge jump from where they were with the PVC at 30 millimeter models. Huge jump. They're super cool. I may do that whole side like Aleph, right? I may break from the traditional colors, make him more like the hero. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, more like that bone Aleph color I think would be kind of cool, right? Mikhail is already that color. And look, new units. We can talk about Mikhail. Look at this dude. Cost 10, 15 health. Look at nice armor. 3 armor. Good Esper draw. Right? decent stats, kind of no melee, no shooting attack. But he's got a melee attack and a psychic attack. So this, look, there's no presses on it, but it's only 2 purple for 8 damage. That's pretty hot. And then the psychic attack is damage 4, which can go up to 6. And then the nice part, off 2 yellow, you get compel 4. Compel, super nice. And then it's basically just shielding for defensive tech, right? Has the fly ability, and then you can upgrade to for Void Touch to be this is a burst action, which is going to do damage 5, drain 1, and I guess you can drain 2 if you pressed. Why do you need to drain 2? I guess if you're just playing against Doctrine, yeah, you know. Here's Tahariel, the Questing Knight, 16 cost. Questing Knights, I think they are woefully underpowered for their cost. I think she should be much cheaper than 16, right? 16 cost is like 3 points more, and you have Princess Malia. That's one issue I have with the game, is like Questing Knights, I don't think they quite hang enough to like ever justify playing a Questing Knight. Unless you know, in the case of Void, it's kind of, I would actually consider it, just because you're going to be playing a bunch of cool solos from the other Void factions, right? So if you want to save a little bit of points, but I think Harbonath is what, like, I don't remember. Harbonath must be like 20. Let's say Harbonath is 20. Most Relic Knights run at or near the 20 cost range. The fact that she's 16 cost is like not good. Like, that's already, Harbonath is going to be much better, right? Because you're only looking at 14 health there. 2 armor is good. Fly and stealth. I forgot what the range is on stealth in this game. I think it's 6. So that's kind of good. So you have a stealth knight is kind of good. The cadre ability. Units in your cadre may spend void cards as if they were wilds. That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Now, if someone's going to pick apart this language here, may spend void cards as if they were a wild card. Notice they went from cards to cards. So, if you spend 2 void, it's still only worth 1 wild card. Someone's going to say that. All right. Is she worth 16 cost? Let's see. From the front, not really. But let's see. Right? Heavy there on the psychic stat, as you can see. 2 psychic attack, 3 psychic attacks. So no melee attacks. I guess that makes sense. Which is kind of cool. So for 2 purple, damage 5, compel 4, and that's built in. So you need your negate on your defensive tech. The fact that you have compel 4 on a psychic attack that's only 2 purple, you don't even need the press is just more damage. That's pretty hot. Not gonna lie, that's pretty hot. Compel 4 is really good. Memory corruption, 3 purple, damage 4, essence drain 1. That's just not ever gonna be used. Why? She doesn't have any essence drain ability like Doctrine. So why would you use that? It doesn't even have a burst. It's not like that's her free, like her clear turn psychic ability. Which, speaking of which, Entropy Rift, 2 red, and it's an AoE buff. Friendly units within 3 gain damage 4 whenever they attack. That's kind of fire. That's kind of fire. Dude, that's kind of fire. Okay, she might be worth 16 points with stealth. Stealth, drop that, and then fire this thing. That's 13 damage, dude, with your press. And a compel 4 on it. She could kind of be good. She could compel 4 so good. And it's built in. And it's only 2 purple. Pretty good. Hey, what's up, Andrew? Um, yeah, that's true. Delphine is pretty dope. I was hoping that they would get me the new Delphine that hasn't come in yet. Well, actually, I don't think... Do I have Delphine on mine? I don't remember. All right, anyway, support ability. Void Dampener. 1 blue for shielding 1. So that's the... I'm sorry, the defensive tech. So you're going to need to be at 3 orange to gain the negate. Not terrible. Not terrible. And the defensive stats are pretty good. So, you know, decent chance to get there. Here's her Cypher Cupid. Decent armor on a Cypher. And then that nice Cypher draw there. Only 8 health. But shielding 2 built in. Pretty hot. Pretty hot. Only 1 ability. Stats are not great. Looks like we've got a ranged attack, Cupid's Arrow. Support Compel 4. What does support do? I forgot. But Compel 4 on the Cypher for 2 red. And so they don't really step on each other's toes much because he's using red and green. Oh! 2 red, 2 green, compel 8. What? 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 Pretty amazing. By the way, I totally forgot this the last time we were playing, but you could use compel on an enemy's objective, which is hilarious. Compel 8 on an objective. What? Pretty fire. All right, Dark Pinions. Here's the unit. Units, like I said, just keep them away from buildings. Don't get them smashed up against buildings. It's not fun. All right, cost 3. You can have up to 3 in the unit. And that's going to cost you 9. Is that right? 26. Yeah, 20. Yeah, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you 9. Okay, they do come with fly, so everybody in this homie got fly. That's pretty dope. 6 health, which is pretty good. Coordinated attack 2. That's going to be nice when we flip the card. Defensive stats, okay. So here we go. So the 1 purple melee attack, damage 3 with a damage 2 press. Okay, so 5, 7, 9 damage for 1 purple. Pretty hot. Void Razor. This is their ranged attack, damage 5. Again, going to damage 9 with Essence Drain 1. But why? I mean, Essence Drain is decent on its own. It's decent. But I just think Doctrine is just so good at exploiting that. All right, good night, Andrew. Thanks, dude. Thanks for popping in. Andrew, we got to talk, man. Lever action. We got to talk. Anyway, Void Dampener, shielding 1 for 1 blue. And you can go up to shielding 3 and negate with the yellows. So you're going to need, so your yellows are going to be defensive for this. If you're running this as your 35-point crew. Which this is supposed to be 35 points. I'm not so sure I'm going to paint that particular color scheme, I may go with something a little, like I was saying, I may go Aleph, make them look like Aleph guys, since Mikhail kind of already looks like Aleph. And then I'm not sure, I may go darker on her. She may be the exception. We'll see. But yeah, that's the Relic Knight stuff that I'm working on, and then hopefully, if I can clear this fast enough, then I can work on the Radiant stuff as well. So we'll have Bang Bang and Mr. Milky. Well, 35-point games are fun. They're super quick. You know, they don't do they're not so bad. All right, let's go ahead and start putting. We're gonna start. Let's work on some hair. I would go with this fiery giant orange. Well, let's see. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? Let's try it. I think it's going to be too much carrot top. All right. Oh, got a little clog. Uh-oh. Gotta clear the clog here. Yeah, damn it, RK. Those sculpts are pretty nice, not gonna lie. Right? We'll call them very good sculpts for a very fun game by a very not good company. Fair? Uh-oh, I can't tell the difference between the soy sauce when it's on the thing. I can't tell the difference between this and the flesh tone. Let's see what we got. Ooh, that's kind of a nice orange. We would be comparing this to Grifftown, whatever, Griffin. Oh, right. I think I backed the Kickstarter, the RK Kickstarter, um, right after my second son was born, and he's now 5. And we have miniatures, right? Sounds about right. So yeah, I am gonna paint some more detail into these, but you can see, like as far as speed paints are concerned, like these are the real deal. We can only have one ginger in this group. Right? A lot of people, and I mean a lot of people are going to be pretty happy with that. With this. A lot of people are going to be pretty happy. Just be like, okay, put it on the board. Right? I'm ready. That was cool. I don't know. If I only painted this mini with just speed paints, I'd probably be done 15 minutes, maybe less. So it fulfills that requirement of being a speed paint. And I just don't think you can make as strong a claim with the Citadel contrast paints, right? I mean, I I will, like, in all fairness, this model lends itself extremely well to these contrast style paints because of the clarity of the detail, right? The clarity and the depth of the detail really drive, what if they're whether or not they're a good candidate for contrast. A little orange on the head here. Like, that's pretty dope, right? Okay, I am going to use some actual contrast paints on, wait, am I? Am I going to use actual contrast paints? Maybe a little bit. I might use a little bit. I need this gray. I need the the winter to be a little gray. So I'm going to use, hold on, before I do that. Yeah, we are going to use, I don't actually want to use contrast paints for the hair of these models. I don't think that that's correct. It's going to be too shiny when it dries. Instead, let's do this. A couple of these guys are blonde. One of them has dark hair. One of them has like brown hair. Let's use that wood color again on this one. Uh-oh. Wait. Uh-oh. Oops. Hold on. Hold on. I used the skin color. He's got flesh-colored hair. Oh my god. It's terrifying. No. Alright. Let's fix that. There we go. See how you could just fix that with this? As if that was contrast paints, again, dead. There's nothing I could have done there at that point. Once I had applied it, game over. This you can actually correct while you're painting, which is nice. Which really should be the expectation when they're saying, oh, these paints are good for beginners. Right? Contrast paints that are terrible for beginners for that reason. If you screw up, you are doomed, dude. Give it up. I'm not convinced that that's great. We'll figure it out. Okay. Let's do two of them kind of blonde like that, though. Do a little more Nordic dwarves. All right. And let's do, I don't know. So I want his hair to stay gray. So let's give him, Let's actually do something a little bit different. All right, I'm gonna reach into the older bag of tricks here and go ash black. So I just want to point out, so far I have not used any opaque paint on these minis. It's been nothing but speed paint and wash. And yeah, I am doing that on purpose because we're testing, not just being lazy. I'm not just being lazy. I'm trying to make these look. Okay, so the ash black there, it's kind of nice. Kind of like that a lot. Let that dry. All right, there you go. And let me see if I can kind of make his hair a little bit lighter than the other guys. Maybe not. I'm World of Warcraft dwarf. You'll see me in the MMOs. I'm World of Warcraft dwarf. Freedom Shield Maiden Girl is one of my favorite. Cool. That's cool. I'm glad you enjoy. All right. Next thing we got to do is we got to use some Space Wolf Gray on the ground cover. So we are going to use some contrast paint. Because the starter set doesn't really have a analog for this. So we're just going to use this. Yeah, I need a big brush. I need a big time brush. There we go. Great. So tonight we're just going to do the color blocking. But you know what's next? Next up would be dry brushing and detail. So you can see what that Space Wolf's gray is doing, right? It's going to make it so that when we dry brush the snow on there, it's going to look almost like there's permafrost underneath. Okay. I don't know. I might even use these paints on my Relic Knights. The bone looks pretty good. I can use that as a base color for my dark pinions. There you go. Let that dry. I wish I liked playing dwarves in games, because painting him up is pretty fun. Painting up dwarfs is pretty fun. But I'm just, like, playstyle wise, I'm just not a dwarf dude, right? I'm just not a, like, beef your way up the field and beef on the guy's face and, right, stand there and take all the damage. I like to fly by. That's my style. So I guess I'm more like elf in terms of playstyle. All right. That, right, for a lot of people are probably going to be like, speed paint? All right. Like, I could rock with that. I could rock with that. Obviously, we're going to do more, but I'm going to give that a minute to dry. And then I don't know how much longer we'll be on stream tonight. I probably will not be on long enough to finish these because of all, there's just a bit of detail that needs to go in. Notably faces, eyes, all that kind of stuff. All that good stuff needs to happen. But yeah, pretty good. On the skeleton guys, it's actually going to be kind of a different approach because of the lighting. So I'm going to have to start with the lighting and then finish the color blocking and then back to bringing the lighting up. So, all right. Do we need, oh, this dry brush is still pretty good. I'm going to let these dry for just a minute. I don't know if I could do the next step tonight anyway, because this stuff does take longer to dry than contrast paint. So just be aware of that. So I don't know. We may hang here for a minute. I don't think they'll be ready to do the next step. But yeah, look at that. Like, let's just pretend we were done. A lot of people, like I keep saying, be like, yeah, speed paint, pretty dope. Right? You could put those on the board and be like, yeah, they're fully painted. They look cool. I think most people would be pretty happy with that. So, any questions, comments, threats while we're here? Yeah, of course, no problem, Nelson. These are fun. Godtear are fun. They're fun to paint. They're fun, quick, like job. Like you can. It doesn't. It's not like 012. It's gonna eat at your soul while you're trying to light all the different parts of it. Yeah. I mean, I still have like random minis on here I need to finish. Like this guy. Adam West has been here. You know who's been here a long time? Is this little Esme. This is the new Esme for Relic Knights. So I gotta finish painting this. It's actually not much to paint on it because Esme is white. So you just paint these little crystals, you paint the green hair and the scarf. That's it. That's Esme. Ain't a whole lot to do there. In fact, I can just, oh, this doesn't, oh, it does come with the green. We can try it. We can try it. Since we're here, let's do it. We might as well. We might as well. Let's try. And I'm pretty sure on my new Marie Claude, she's got yellow accessories. So I'm pretty sure I can just be like this. Right? I used to run a lot of Marie Claude in 1.5 Relic Knights because she had some hilarious stuff you could do with those pacer bots. Like she made them stupid fast and really slippery. Um, and she could heal them, I believe, right, with pit crew and her cadre ability back in the day. I don't think that's true now, but that is what it was back in the day. All right, let's go ahead and let's try the green. We haven't tried the green. And we'll even try the purple on the crystals. Ooh, got some spill over here on the top of that crystal. Let's try the green. Not sure why Esme has glasses, but okay. Okay. Green is nice and simple. It kind of sits in between Orc Green and Warp Lightning for comparing these to contrast paints. Right? It's not as bright as Warp Lightning and it's not as dark as Orc Flesh. You can see, just does a good enough job. Just what's up, Placebo Pete? Just using the new Army Painter speed paints, and they work good. That's all I'm gonna say. We're gonna try out the purple. They work well. Not much to report. Working as intended. Okay, so the Citadel version, you have Shyish Purple and Magos Purple, and they're both terrible. Okay, Magos Purple, way too light, way too, uh, way too light, and then it's thick but thin. It's hard to explain. And then while Shyish Purple is just way too dark, you can never get it to actually do the color you want. So we're going to try this purple. And that right there is already better. Like this is actually the best comparison. This is what Shyish Purple is supposed to do, and it does not do. Right? That looks pretty dope, actually. Okay. Yeah. That's nice, right? That's nice. That's going to dry flat too, which is cool. It's not the end of the world if that didn't dry flat on this model, but it's just nice. It's a nice to have. All right. If you want to see, here's an example of, right, tonight we basically just painted with the speed paints. So this is just the speed paints. And pretty dope, not gonna lie, pretty dope. I will use the speed paints as color blocking, so those models are not done. But my argument was a lot of people that are just trying to get models on the board going to be pretty happy with that. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to see before I could show you the other Relic Knights, some of the other Relic Knights stuff that came in? If you want to see it, it's nothing. It's not like big models. Oh, that dwarf is that's from Godtear. Let's look at good guy starters. Prismatic starter set. Here's how they come. This is kind of the frustrating part, right? We'll look at stat cards in a minute, but they come on. So they come on these sprues like this. Stasperons. But these are like the Jinro, the Jinro troopers. I don't really like the brittle resin, but the quality is pretty good. There's Bang Bang. That's a good sculpt, right? She's gonna need some cleanup, obviously, right there at the bottom of the cape. That's kind of a mess. Oh, except Michael managed to pick up something awesome. Oh, thanks, dude. Hope you had fun at Adepticon. I'm super bummed I couldn't make it. I wanted to play some Batman, try to beat stupid Adam guy. Try to win Batman out there. Right, and here's Miss Kaylee, the Robo Furry. She's kind of cool. Like that's a good sculpt. The sculpts are great. What am I gonna say? Like, they're good. You got where's Mr. Milky? But you can see her claws. That's Miss Kaylee's claw. It's when you get little pieces like this that's kind of terrifying. Looks like some sort of claw targeting system thing. That's kind of terrifying. And then I bet Mr. Milky is just chilling at the bottom of this bag. Yeah, there he is. Oh, Mr. Milky. He's cool. Way different vibe. Yeah, Adepticon is kind of serious boys, from what I'm told. Adepticon is like serious competitive boys go to Adepticon for serious competitive things. All right, so that's the prismatic starter. All right, pretty cool. Let's look at the stat cards. Let's look at stat cards. Bang Bang is pretty cool. I think I got the Dark Space Bang Bang too, where she's like a wizard. Right. All right. Bang Bang, 15 cost. Lower armor, decent Esper draw, 16 health again. Your wild cards count as 2 of the chosen Esper. That's her ability. Underwhelming. Okay stats. Haymaker for 2 green goes to damage 6, and then the 2 red for compel 4. Not bad. Whoa, there's a lot of Michael explanation happening. So beer cart that was pushed around for sale, but never saw him. Any hobby stuff, cool. All right, that's a melee attack. Then you've got a ranged attack here, Deadeye, which could potentially go up to 10 damage. Again, not terrible. And then you got an AoE debuff here. Enemy units within 3 may not take actions. That's rough. And awesome. That's an awesome ability for 2 blue. That is really awesome. 3 and within 3 inches, that's really good. And then you have her defensive tech, shielding 2, going up to shielding 4 and negate. Lots of purple needed to get the full effect there. So yellow, purple. So she's making pretty good use of every color except for orange. That's pretty good, right? Mr. Milky. He's got decent armor and the draw. Shielding 2. I think all the ciphers are coming shielding 2 like standard now. Oh, you know what I wanted to point out too? You notice neither one of the questing knights had an overcharge ability. No overcharge ability for 15 cost. No thanks, dude. Like I said, 3 more points is Princess Malia. Why wouldn't you just play that? Anyway, or I think Prismatic Candy is like 19 or 20. Still super good. Really terrible melee attack. Damage 3 with a green. It doesn't have any effects. When or why, I guess. Here's the psychic attack, which is a burst action, which is cool. Support, heal 2, power 1. Okay, so you can heal. So he's got a ranged heal, and it's got an orange compel in it, which is a friendly compel. That's kind of nice. That's kind of nice. Not gonna lie, that's kind of nice. All right, Miss Kaylee, 11 cost. Okay, solos that run past 10 cost, they better be damn good. So that's the expectation here for Miss RoboFurry. Decent armor, 17 health. So that is kind of questing knight stats, right? She alright. 2 green is a screw attack melee going to damage 9 potentially. That's a nice cheap press. The ranged attack charge beam going to damage 7 and a card draw. Me, okay. And then the defensive tech going up to shielding 4 off of yellow and purple. Again, this crew does not like orange. I don't know if she's worth 11 cost though. I mean, her melee attack is damage 9, I guess. It's not, you're going to be, like, her presses are terrible. Well, let's see. If you upgrade her, you then get another burst melee attack. 1 green for damage, 3 with a feint and knockback available on reds. Okay. The squad, the Sundown Enforcers. Again, this looks like this is going to be a cost 9 squad for 3 three models. They all have 6 health, basically the same stats as the Dark Pinions up front. Coordinated attack 2, but do not get fly. Why is their armor? What was the other one? I don't know. Stats are okay. Here's their melee is just a damage 5 basically on 2 colors. Bleh. The ranged attack, this is where I'm expecting to be good. So it's damage 5 going to damage 9 basically. They're almost the exact same stats as the Pinions, except Pinions have fly and these guys I believe have a little bit better armor. And they have the ability to gain hobble. Me. Not great. Not great. Underwhelm. But you also get another upgrade card for them. Gravity Well. Here we go. AoE buff. Friendly units within 3 inches gain heavy. I think heavy is like bonus damage, right? I forget what that does. So, anyways, that's the prismatic stuff. I don't know. It's in a regular game of arcade, it'd be silly not to take the full night, but I really get into these kicks where I want to play questing nights. I don't know why either. I just sometimes I'm like, I just want to play questing night and like see if they're any good. They just cannot hang against a full relic knight in combat. So I would say there's some questing knights though that are still quite good. I think Anthony is super good. Jean Ramey is a pretty decent questing knight to give you really kind of buff your team, give it a little bit more mobility, right? If you don't want to play Sebastian Rook all the time. And Marie Claude she's gone through her instances of being like really good and then not as good. So, take that for what you for what you will. So, with that, guys, I'm going to work on to the next part of these models, but I am not going to. I'll just work on those later. So, Hobble isn't bad. Yeah. I don't know. The compels on the Void side were super nice. Compel and fly, super nice. Prevents initial move and prevents... Oh, that's actually pretty nice then. Taking the initial move away is pretty damn strong. I'd take it back. So anyways, thanks everyone for watching. I'm going to head out. Have a good night, and we'll catch you on the next one.